If you woke up today, December 26th, feeling strange, as if something ended, but nothing new has begun, as if you are suspended between two worlds, as if time itself has become fluid and directionless, listen carefully. You are not imagining it. This feeling is not post-holiday emptiness. This is not exhaustion. This is not meaningless downtime. The 5 days between December 26th and December 30th are the most important energetic window of the entire year. Not for rest, for recalibration. And most people will waste it completely, but you will not, because what you do in these next 5 days determines your entire 2026 timeline, and the Arcturians are watching who understands this. Something shifted the moment December 25th ended. You felt it. The energy that held Christmas together released. The convergence window closed, and suddenly you find yourself in a space that feels like nowhere. Not quite the old year, not yet the new year, not holiday, not normal life, just this strange suspended animation where nothing feels urgent and everything feels uncertain. This liminal space between Christmas and New Year is one of the rarest energetic phenomena in the annual cycle. It exists because of a unique combination of collective agreement and temporal positioning. Christmas creates a massive global pause, New Year creates a massive global reset. And the 5 days between them, the collective holds its breath. Billions of humans enter a holding pattern, work pauses for many, normal routines dissolve, social obligations decrease, the pressure of productivity temporarily lifts. And in that collective exhale, in that planetary pause, something becomes possible that is not possible at any other time of year. The field becomes malleable, timelines become fluid, identity becomes flexible, and for those who recognize this window, profound recalibration becomes effortless, not because you are doing more, but because you are doing it while the collective field is soft, while resistance is low, while the planetary nervous system has temporarily stopped bracing against change. This is why you feel suspended, because you are. The old year is releasing its grip. The new year has not yet formed its structure. And in this gap, in this pause, in this breath between exhales, you have access to reset mechanisms that are normally locked. Think of it like this. For 50 weeks of the year, you are trying to adjust your frequency while the collective field is rigid, active, demanding. It is like trying to turn a ship while the engine is running full speed. Possible, but difficult, exhausting, slow. But right now, for these 5 days, the engine has stopped. The ship is coasting, and you can turn it with a fraction of the effort. This is the gift of the liminal window. This is why the Arcturians pay attention to who recognizes it, because using this window efficiently demonstrates understanding. It shows you comprehend energetic mechanics. It reveals you are not just spiritually interested, you are operationally aware. Here is the mistake most people make. They treat December 26th through 30th as rest and recovery time. They sleep late. They binge entertainment. They wait passively for New Year's Eve to arrive. And there is nothing wrong with rest. Rest is essential, but these 5 days are not designed for rest. They are designed for recalibration, and there is a profound difference. Rest is passive. Recalibration is active. Rest is collapse. Recalibration is conscious adjustment. Rest says, I am depleted and need to do nothing. Recalibration says, the field is soft and I can rewire rapidly. If you spend these 5 days resting, you will arrive at December 31st slightly more energized but fundamentally unchanged. You will enter 2026 carrying the same patterns, the same frequency, the same trajectory you had in 2025. And then you will wonder why your New Year's resolutions feel forced, why your intentions do not stick, why January feels like a continuation rather than a reset. But if you spend these 5 days recalibrating, you will arrive at December 31st structurally different. Your baseline will have shifted, your patterns will have reorganized, your frequency will have stabilized at a new level. And when you set intentions on New Year's Eve, they will not feel like wishful thinking. They will feel like confirmation of what has already changed. This is how starseeds use the liminal window differently than the majority. According to those who track these energetic cycles, the Arcturians have been observing humanity's behavior during this 5-day window for decades. They watch who drifts and who recalibrates. They observe who treats time as linear and who recognizes temporal flexibility. They note who understands that change is easier when the collective field is soft. And those observations matter, because coherence is not just measured by your ability to remain stable under pressure, it is also measured by your ability to recognize and utilize optimal windows for transformation. These 5 days test a different capacity, not your endurance, your awareness, not your strength, your timing, not your force, your efficiency. Can you recognize when conditions are optimal? Can you move when the field allows it? Can you recalibrate when recalibration becomes easy? Or do you wait until the field hardens again and then struggle to change through sheer force? The Arcturians are interested in starseeds who move with the field's natural rhythms, who understand that transformation has seasons, who know when to push and when to flow. So what does recalibration actually mean? What are you adjusting? According to the framework passed through those working with Arcturian frequencies, there are 5 specific recalibrations available during these 5 days, 1 per day. Each builds on the previous, each prepares for the next, and if you complete all 5 by December 30th, you arrive at New Year's Eve in a completely different energetic position than you were in on December 25th. These are not massive transformations. They are precise adjustments, small degrees of course correction that create massive trajectory changes over time. Think of it like adjusting a rocket's trajectory. A 1-degree shift at launch changes the destination by thousands of miles. These 5 recalibrations are 1-degree shifts. They feel subtle in the moment, but they determine where you land in 2026. The first recalibration is energetic discharge. This happens naturally on December 26th. Today, right now, you are already in it. December 26th is Discharge Day. After holding space through Christmas, after stabilizing family dynamics, after managing collective emotional intensity, your system is full, not in a good way, full of density you absorbed, full of emotions you witnessed but did not process, full of energy that is not yours. Today is the day your system naturally releases all of it. This is why you might feel emotional today without cause, tired without having exerted yourself, heavy without being able to identify why. Your nervous system is discharging, and if you allow it, if you do not resist it, if you give it space and permission, it will complete naturally. But if you distract yourself, if you fill today with noise and activity and stimulation, the discharge will not complete, and you will carry that density into the remaining 4 days, which will compromise every subsequent recalibration. So the first and most important recalibration is simple. Let today be Discharge Day. Feel without story, release without processing, allow your system to empty itself. Before we continue with the remaining 4 recalibrations, acknowledge this moment. If you understand that these 5 days are not random, if you recognize that you are in a recalibration window right now, if you are willing to use this time consciously rather than drift through it, make a signal. Comment below with these exact words: I am recalibrating, not as a wish, as a statement, as a confirmation to the field that you are aware, that you recognize the window, that you are participating consciously. This becomes part of your energetic record. Make the statement, then continue. The second recalibration is identity loosening. This happens on December 27th, tomorrow, after discharge completes, after your system empties itself of Christmas density. Space opens, and in that space identity becomes flexible. Who you were in 2025 begins to feel like a costume you can remove. The stories you told about yourself become optional rather than fixed. The limitations you accepted become negotiable. This is not ego death. This is identity flexibility, and it is temporary. By January 1st, identity will solidify again. But on December 27th, for approximately 24 hours, you have access to identity adjustment that normally requires months of inner work. Use December 27th to question every I am statement you have been carrying. I am not good at this. I am always like this. I am the type of person who, I am limited by every identity statement, is up for renegotiation tomorrow. Not through affirmations, through recognition that identity is fluid when the field is soft. You do not have to become someone new. You simply have to stop insisting you are who you were, and in that opening, in that loosening, new versions become accessible. The third recalibration is timeline clarification. This happens on December 28th, 2 days from now. After identity loosens, after you stop defending who you were, you can suddenly sense multiple timelines available for 2026. This is not manifestation teaching. This is timeline mechanics. Multiple probable futures exist simultaneously. Most people cannot sense them because their identity is too rigid and their field is too noisy. But on December 28th, after discharge and identity loosening, the timelines become perceptible. You will feel pulls in different directions. You will sense possibilities that were invisible before. You will recognize that 2026 is not predetermined. There are multiple versions available, and the version you enter depends on the frequency you stabilize before December 31st. So December 28th is Reconnaissance Day. You are sensing what is available, feeling into different probable futures, noticing which timelines feel aligned and which feel like continuation of old patterns. You are not choosing yet. You are clarifying what the options are. The fourth recalibration is frequency stabilization. This happens on December 29th, 3 days from now. After you have clarified which timeline feels most aligned, December 29th is the day you stabilize the frequency that matches that timeline. This is the most important recalibration of the 5, because timeline selection does not happen through decision. It happens through frequency match. You do not choose a timeline with your mind. You align with it through your field. December 29th is when you practice holding the frequency of your aligned timeline, not visualizing it, not affirming it, but embodying the feeling tone of already being in it. This is subtle work. It requires you to sense the difference between wishing for a timeline and resonating with it. Wishing creates separation. Resonance creates magnetism. On December 29th, you find the frequency that matches your aligned timeline, and you practice stabilizing there for hours if possible, so that when midnight December 31st arrives, you are not trying to jump to a new frequency. You are already there, and the midnight moment simply locks it in. The fifth and final recalibration is integration and sealing. This happens on December 30th, 4 days from now. After discharge, identity loosening, timeline clarification, and frequency stabilization, December 30th is consolidation day. You are not adding anything new. You are allowing the previous 4 recalibrations to integrate fully, to settle, to become your new baseline. Many people skip this step. They recalibrate and then immediately return to normal activity, and the recalibration unravels because it was never sealed. December 30th is a quiet day. Minimal external stimulation, maximum internal awareness. You are letting the new frequency stabilize, letting the new identity become familiar, letting the timeline selection solidify. This is not a doing day. This is a being day, and it is essential, because without integration, the previous 4 days become interesting experiences rather than actual transformation. December 30th seals the work, and if you seal it properly, you will wake up on December 31st already positioned, already aligned, already stable in your new baseline. Let us be specific about what these recalibrations look like practically, because this is not theoretical, this is operational. Today, December 26th, is Discharge Day. What does that mean in practice? It means you give your system permission to feel and release without making it mean anything. If sadness arises, let it move through. If tears come, let them fall. If heaviness sits in your chest, breathe into it without trying to understand it. If irritation surfaces, allow it without directing it at anyone. Your system is releasing density it absorbed during Christmas, family dynamics, collective anxiety, emotional intensity. None of it is yours. All of it is leaving. The more you allow it to leave without resistance, the more complete the discharge will be. Practically, this means you might need to be alone today. You might need to cry or scream or shake or just sit in stillness. You might need to move your body without agenda. Walk, stretch, dance, let energy move through and out. What you do not want to do today is distract yourself. Do not fill the day with entertainment, social media, alcohol, food, or activity designed to avoid feeling. Because if you avoid the discharge, if you numb it or suppress it or distract from it, the density stays, and every subsequent recalibration will be compromised by carrying that unprocessed weight. So today is simple: feel, release, empty, let your system discharge fully. Tomorrow, December 27th, is Identity Loosening Day. Practically, this means you spend time questioning your self-concept, not in a negative way, in a curious way. Write down every statement you have made about yourself in the last year that starts with I am not good at relationships. I am always struggling financially. I am the responsible one. I am not creative. I am too old for this. I am limited by my past. Write them all down. Every identity statement, every self-definition, every limitation you have accepted as truth about who you are. And then, one by one, read them and ask, is this actually true, or is this just a story I have been repeating? Is this who I am, or is this who I was? Is this my nature, or is this just a pattern? You are not trying to replace these statements with positive affirmations. You are simply loosening the grip they have on you. You are recognizing that identity is flexible, that you are not bound by who you were, that 2026 does not have to be a continuation of 2025's self-concept. This process takes maybe 2 hours, but those 2 hours on December 27th, when the field is soft and identity is naturally flexible, will accomplish what would normally take months of therapy or inner work. Because you are not fighting against a rigid field, you are adjusting while the field is malleable. The timing is everything. December 28th is Timeline Clarification Day. Practically, this means you sit in meditation or quiet contemplation and sense into 2026. Not visualize your perfect life. Sense the timelines available. This is subtle work. It requires you to quiet your mind enough to feel beneath thought. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and ask internally, what timelines are available to me for 2026? Then wait. Do not force answers. Do not make up visions. Just wait and feel. You might sense multiple pulls. One timeline feels like continuation, more of the same, safe but stagnant. Another timeline feels like expansion, unfamiliar but exciting. Another feels like challenge, difficult but transformative. You are not judging these timelines. You are simply becoming aware they exist. You are clarifying your options. Most people never do this. They drift into whatever timeline has the most momentum from their current patterns. But on December 28th, you can see the menu. You can recognize you have choices. Spend at least an hour doing this, maybe more. Write down what you sense, not elaborate visions, just feeling tones. Timeline A feels like this. Timeline B feels like this. Timeline C feels like this. And notice which one, when you sit with it, creates calm in your body, not excitement. Calm, because excitement can be ego anticipation. Calm is field recognition. The timeline that creates deep calm, when you sense it, is the aligned timeline, not the most dramatic, not the most impressive, the most aligned. December 29th is Frequency Stabilization Day. This is the most important day of the 5. Practically, this means you spend the day embodying the frequency of your aligned timeline. You identified it yesterday, on December 28th. Today you practice being in it, not thinking about it, being it. This is the difference between wanting a timeline and matching it. Wanting is mental, matching is embodied. How do you embody a timeline? You find the feeling tone of already being in it. If your aligned timeline has a sense of ease, you practice ease today. If it has a sense of creative flow, you practice creative flow today. If it has a sense of groundedness, you practice groundedness today. You are not pretending, you are not faking, you are testing the frequency, wearing it, adjusting to it, so that by the end of December 29th, this frequency feels natural rather than aspirational. Spend as much of December 29th as possible in this frequency. Wake up in it, move through your day holding it. When it slips, gently return. This is not about perfection, this is about practice. By midnight on December 29th, you want this frequency to feel like home, because on December 31st at midnight, whatever frequency feels most like home is the one that locks in as your 2026 baseline. December 30th is integration and sealing day. Practically, this means you do as little as possible externally. This is not a social day. This is not a productive day. This is a consolidation day. You are letting everything from the previous 4 days settle and integrate. Sleep extra if your body wants it. Sit in silence. Journal if insights arise. But mostly just be. Let your system process and integrate without interference. Many people get restless on integration days. They feel like they should be doing something. But integration is doing something. It is the most important something. It is the stage where temporary experiences become permanent shifts. If you skip December 30th, if you fill it with activity and distraction, the previous 4 days will fade, the recalibrations will unravel, and you will arrive at December 31st essentially unchanged. But if you honor December 30th, if you give the integration space and time and silence, you will wake up on December 31st different, noticeably different. And when you set your intentions for 2026 on New Year's Eve, they will not feel like you are trying to become someone new. They will feel like you are confirming who you already became during these 5 days. According to those who work with these frameworks, the Arcturians pay very close attention to how starseeds utilize this 5-day window. Not to judge, to identify capacity, because using this window efficiently demonstrates several things simultaneously. First, it shows you recognize energetic timing. You do not just work hard, you work smart. You understand that transformation has optimal windows, and you can sense when those windows open. Second, it shows you can execute subtle recalibrations. You are not dependent on dramatic breakthroughs or crisis-driven change. You can make precise adjustments when conditions allow. This is advanced. Most people only transform through pain or force. Starseeds who understand timing can transform through flow. Third, it shows you prioritize coherence over performance. You are willing to spend 5 days recalibrating rather than producing, achieving, or proving. This reveals your values, and values reveal function. The Arcturians are not interested in starseeds who are spiritually knowledgeable. They are interested in starseeds who are energetically functional, and function is demonstrated through behavior. Do you recognize opportunities when the field presents them? Do you utilize optimal conditions? Do you recalibrate proactively rather than reactively? These 5 days answer those questions, and the answers determine how you are positioned for 2026 contact and integration work. This is not punishment for those who do not use the window consciously. This is calibration. The Arcturians meet you where you are. If you drift through these 5 days unconsciously, you will still enter 2026. You will still have opportunities. You will still grow, but you will grow through the harder path, through resistance, through force, through crisis-driven transformation. Whereas if you use these 5 days consciously, you grow through the easier path, through timing, through condition-based transformation. Neither is better or worse. They are different speeds, different trajectories, and the choice is yours, every moment, including right now. If you are feeling the pull to not just understand these 5 recalibrations intellectually, but to actually practice them, to stabilize them, to integrate them at the level where they become your lived baseline rather than interesting concepts, there is a space designed specifically for that work. Inside the members area, connected to this channel, the focus is not more information, it is consistent practice. The public videos activate awareness, they introduce frameworks. They point to possibilities, but the membership space is where you develop the capacities to work with these frameworks daily, where you receive guided practices for each of the 5 recalibrations, where you access meditations designed specifically for timeline clarification and frequency stabilization, where you find support for integrating what gets activated during windows like this. Consider it the practice ground for what these transmissions introduce. These 5 days are a gift, a rare window, but windows like this open throughout the year. Lunar cycles, solstices, equinoxes, planetary alignments, collective reset moments. And if you want to learn to recognize and utilize all of them, not just this one, the membership offers that ongoing training. The link is in the description, but only explore it if it feels calm, if there is quiet recognition, not urgency, readiness. This is where the explanation ends and the application begins. You now understand what these 5 days are, why they feel suspended, what they offer, and how to use them. The information is complete. Now it is about action, or more accurately, conscious recalibration. Today is December 26th, Discharge Day. Let yourself feel without story. Let your system empty what it held through Christmas. Do not avoid it. Do not distract from it. Just allow it. Tomorrow is December 27th, Identity Loosening Day. Question every statement you have made about who you are. Recognize that identity is flexible right now, and flexibility means possibility. December 28th is Timeline Clarification Day. Sense what versions of 2026 are available. Feel into the menu. Recognize you are not trapped in one predetermined future. December 29th is Frequency Stabilization Day. Embody the timeline that feels aligned. Practice holding that frequency until it feels natural. December 30th is Integration and Sealing Day. Be still, let everything settle, let the recalibrations become your new baseline. And then you arrive at December 31st positioned, not hoping for change, already changed. The 5-day window is already open. You are already in it. The collective field is already soft. The conditions are already optimal. All that remains is your willingness to participate consciously rather than drift passively. The Arcturians are observing who recognizes this moment, who understands timing, who uses the window, and who arrives at 2026 already recalibrated. You are not most people. You would not be here if you were. These 5 days are not rest. They are recalibration. The window is open. Use it. The transmission is complete. The protocol is clear. Proceed consciously.